Hey, folks, welcome to the generational gap.
What
I am.
happened?
I don't know. My tang got tangled, I think.
Yeah, it did.
Hey, I'm Robert, your resident Gen Xer. Right over there is John, our resident millennial. Welcome to the generational gap, everyone. John, welcome to the show. Uh,
Yes, welcome to my own show.
Cameron says
Jeez.
he's holding his ears, but it's not showtime. It is showtime,
It is
just
showtime.
not at the Apollo. There's Cameron Michael, Brandon Sullivan in the house. Hello,
Yo!
Brandon
What
Sullivan.
up, brah? I saw
Uh,
you in Edge chat earlier. I'm glad you're following him too. He's an alright guy. For a white boy.
John, I'm going to put you on. You're going to be the like monitor tonight. As many people as we see in the chat, we should be seeing likes. Spank them,
Yes.
spank them. If
Ooh.
not,
But what if
treat
they like that?
treat them like your monkey.
But what if they like it?
Um,
Then they won't like the stream, they'll just like being spanked instead. I don't think that's a good idea. I think you set us up for failure.
mm, all right, all right. We'll have to go back to killing puppies, I guess. So
Yeah.
there you go, folks. You've ruined it for everyone. This is why
now
we
you
can't
it's
have nice things.
it's your guys' fault that puppies are gonna die. Yeah, Brandon says, yeah, he's cool. I love RRC. Yeah, RRC is on Ed's show right now. I'm not sure if they're done yet or what, but
What?
he just
Somebody's
says,
stepping on our showtime?
I know.
Remind me. Maybe we need to raid Ed.
Oh, we could raid Ed.
Get your dick pics, boys. We're on the move.
That's right. Let's see if he's still alive. Maybe we'll raid him.
Gear up, boys. No, we're not going
Let
to
us
raid
see. Let
him.
us
Come
see.
on now. Let him do his
No,
show. Let
he's
him
not
do.
on anyway.
Let him do his show. I mean, he's. I mean, it's just a guy
Yeah, he's
trying.
not live anymore anyway.
Just a guy trying to get a piece. Just a guy trying to get a piece. John, it's weird. I was just about to go to you for announcements, but right now we don't have
We don't
any
have any
announcements.
announcements. Yeah, we
No.
suck, man.
Hey,
Oh, they were wrapping up
but
there.
instead of an announcement, let's. How about
Oh
a
shit.
recap? How was
We
your
can do that.
How was your Friday?
Long and exhausting, but
How,
very fun and very satisfying.
very satisfying.
Very sad. I was very satisfied.
I have to say, there's a small part of me that feels a little undersatisfied.
Well, the
But
beard is still
overall,
here.
yes, we did not reach full climax, but it's okay. We
Yep.
I will live to fight another day, and we will be back at that beard at some point in the near future. I say near future because
Yes.
we can't go an entire year without having some sort of other charity stream. Because
I mean, we've had 3 this year alone. I mean, that's pretty awesome.
yep, we did pretty well on Friday. We raised $900, which is no small
Hell
amount.
yeah.
$900 can do a lot for folks if put to the right use. We're going to trust that the Salvation Army is going to do that. Just FYI, though, if you look down in the description, the GoFundMe is still active. I usually will leave it up for upwards to a week afterwards just to catch any stragglers. We'll throw it out there. Hey, we'll still take donations. It's the holiday season. Uh, yes, Brandon, it is absolutely just for you. It is very specifically for you. You have ranked. Now, John, I think, like, as far as in Discord, though, that doesn't qualify as a cool guy, right? Cool guys. Does Brandon have a show? Is he on? Is he a
No.
YouTuber, a podcaster at all? Okay.
I don't think he's not even in our Discord server.
Oh, okay.
The
So,
frick.
so at the most right now, you're gonna have to be satisfied with a warm spot in my ice cold heart, Brandon, and
Aw,
that's why I keep
that's
those
awesome.
lights up for you. You were a trooper on Friday, by golly, by gum.
Yeah.
The man was there, and he was there, and he just kept being there and being there and being there, and that kind of support was
Yeah.
fantastic and amazing.
He was actually there before we were.
Right? I'm like,
Yeah.
that's
Yep.
the kind of thing I can appreciate. All the donations were amazing. Um, it will hopefully all go and help people in the need. I'll get
Oh
into
yeah.
the D server. Hey,
I got a D for you.
there's a lot of D in that server. I'm just saying,
That's
it's
right.
it's a
The
very
link is down in the description if you want to just click that, you'll get in there.
It's a veritable D party in there. I think we've got what, one, maybe two
He's got a
kids.
couple of girls in there. There's a couple of
Yeah,
non-dicks, but mostly dick. Yeah.
John, family show. Would not say dick, but we're not a family show, so thanks.
Right. Thank God.
But anyway, so hopefully we had a decent show. I don't know. People hung around. It was enjoyable. We had some fun. We played Cards Against Humanity. I thought that was great. There was a
Triggered
lot of fun.
Steven during that game.
Oh, Stephen was definitely a little surprised by the what was it consistently said about it?
It's degenerate.
Degenerative game. It's a very
Yeah, it's a
degenerate game.
degenerate.
Yeah.
It's degenerate as fuck. He said it like quite often.
But I will say this: it did spark an idea, and I thought it might be fun that potentially in the future that we consider doing a third night on the on stream on the air, as it were, and do a game night, John. Do a game night.
Yeah.
We can invite some folks from Discord, that watch the show. We can invite Freedom Scoop folks, whoever. Get a few people together, and we'll jump onto a game site like that. Some sort of party
Yeah.
game. A good party game that'll allow for some irreverence, because it's good to blow off a little irreverent steam every once in a while, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
But
Yeah,
it's
that's out
just
of
a
it.
thought, hopefully, maybe folks out there will like it. We'll get some feedback on it. If they think it's a good idea, maybe we can figure out a way to do that. We'll have open, casting, as it were, for each game night. Who wants to pop in? We need 4 people. Boom. Get those people in and go and have some
Yeah.
fun. Just think about the fun we can have. I was thinking a good game would you rather?
Yeah.
That would be an
That would be a good
excellent
one.
game. And if we could find an online version of Marry, Fuck, Kill, that would be awesome as well, I think.
I'm
That would
sure
be
we
a
could. Or we
great
could
game.
take suggestions from the chat. Chat can give us some fuck Mary Kill questions.
That's potential as well. Now, I don't like the chat so much. They're very irreverent on their own. If they're in the game, that's one. On the show, that's one thing. We can control them, we can paddle them, as it were. But in the chat, they
Ooh.
just they get out of hand. They scare me.
Nah,
I just can't.
they're all right.
But they'll think of things.
Sometimes.
You know how that internet can be. It can really
Yeah.
foil things when you get the audience involved. Ed says, didn't want your stream announcement in the main chat where the white supremacists live.
Uh,
Wow.
wait, what do you mean?
Wait, there's white. Oh, he must have been in his.
Yeah, I know I put it in his. Where did I put it? Oh, I put it in strategy. I'm stupid. That was my fault. Yeah. Hang on, I'll put it in the
He's Siri. He's Siri
yeah,
boy.
there. Now it's in general. That was my fault. I was just stupid.
Hey,
Yeah, I gave him the role that he deserves. He's a pleb.
I like Ed's
Like everyone
white
else.
supremacist friends. They're fun.
Oh my god.
Let me tell
Yeah.
you. All right, so John, I don't want to talk about any of this bullshit most of this bullshit that's going on, because most of this bullshit is just just grinding on, just more of the same shit. But I did see something, and I want to ask you about it. And this is, I think I want to, like I said, I'm posing this as more of an anthropologically philosophical question. Okay. Um,
Those are big words. You
they
must have just
they
learned them today, right?
no, I like things like that. Just, all right, fine. You're going to make me go off on a tangent. Did that in my. I learned to do that whenever I was in English 101, my first English comp class, and I had gone to on my honeymoon at the time to New Orleans, and when I came back, the teacher was asking me about it, and I told her, I said I really enjoyed it. I said, but I'm very much an architectural voyeur. And she told me, and she just went off. She's like, "That's a very poetic way of saying this." Blah blah blah. We talked writing. Blah blah blah. So there you go. You made me say it. But anyway, yeah. So anyway, here's the thing. New show on one of the streaming channels. I think it's on the N word. Uh, It's called V Wars. Okay,
B
V
Wars.
Wars. So the V is very important there. Think vampires. There you go. Okay, so now, but the premise of this is that due to global warming, there are things being exposed in the melting of the ice that have been dormant, lain dormant for, thousands of years. And as it melts more and more, you go further back in time. These things that have been laying dormant, and they refer to them. I don't know if this is a real word. haven't looked this part up. It's called prions, but basically, it alters your genetics, as it were, kind of like it's an evolutionary key type thing that's exposed, kind of like bacterias and stuff. Part of the premise of the show is the main character, he's into biological shit like this, and is worried about diseases being exposed from a point in time where we have no idea, our bodies aren't prepared to combat it, right? Well, this is
Hmm.
one of the things that's exposed, and basically it's this prion. It gets into your system, and it basically changes you into a vampire. Different variations of so the vampirism is genetically different depending on who you are, this that, and the other, which is kind of an angle they're taking. So some people's genetics make them into a vampire that puts toxins in like a spider and freezes you in place till they're ready to feed some more, blah blah blah, kind of thing. So the question I have for you, in all this discussion that goes on about global warming and the environmental crisis that's going on, we are seeing the melting of the ice caps. Does it sound? Does that sound too far fetched? Not the vampire aspect, but the idea that there are things that are potentially going to be exposed that our bodies, our systems have no way to deal with in the present day.
Well, what it sounds like to me is a shitty plot device. It really does. But is that possible? I have no idea. It's not at all my, area of expertise. Whether or not, a plague of some kind can survive, in obviously some, what is it, sub freezing temperature or whatever.
Right.
I have no idea.
I mean,
It's
of
not. Yeah.
course, they're looking at it from the standpoint of like cryogenics, in a sense, right? These things have been frozen in time. It's this whole idea of, a caveman being frozen in the ice.
Right.
Can how much of it is still accessible? Can it be brought back to life?
I know it'll preserve the body, but I don't think you can bring it back.
Because when you talk about bacteria and things like this, these kind of things can go
Steven, I have no
dormant.
idea what we're talking about. It says we're
Adrenochrome.
talking adrenochrome. No clue what that is, and
I've never
yeah,
heard the word adrenochrome.
it
That's
sounds cool. It sounds like it sounds like a shitty anime title. That's really
um,
what it sounds like.
but no, I mean, viruses, bacteria, one of the two or both have been known to go. They can lie dormant in cold temperatures. This kind of
Yeah, but for
thing.
how long?
I don't know.
That's
That's
the
a good
thing. Yeah.
question, right? So but it really got me thinking. I'm like, is this something? Is this something that could actually be a possibility? I don't know enough about it, but from it's one of those things where I'm like, okay, I could, it's like the warp drive from Star Trek. I could see that being a thing, right? I could see the reality to that. Um, you know, just like I could see the possibility of a Loch Ness monster or Bigfoot. I could see those possibilities, but I don't know. Does anybody know? If anybody out there knows,
So apparently, I'm loud as fuck, and you can barely be heard.
okay.
That's most likely due to the fact that you never talk into your mic. But I don't know why I'm so loud.
Well, maybe I don't know. Maybe because I'm a little. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I wasn't talking.
Well, you know what,
There's,
Steven?
there's,
Maybe everyone needs to hear what I have to say way more than Robert.
it's weird. Not too long ago, the last time we got the complaint, I was too loud. You weren't loud enough. So
Yeah,
somewhere
you
things got.
switched them.
Yeah, apparently, maybe my mic is all out of whack. Maybe it's dying. I don't know. Donate money to to the John and Robert charity, and we'll get new equipment and make sure everything's up to date. I think my sound card is going on my computer. I hope that's not a thing, and not a thing that would affect it,
Oh
but it
shit!
probably would
Yeah.
be. I'm gonna have to replace everything soon, one of these days. But
See,
anyway,
Steven
so
agrees.
I'll kick up my volume if that helps. I don't mind talking a little louder. Um,
Or
John,
into the mic.
John, you got to shut up.
I
Trying to bust my balls. Okay, so
don't know.
here's another one that I saw, an article I saw today in the Independent, and I thought it was interesting as fuck because I didn't know this, and it does open up some interesting implications. You're familiar with people having bone marrow transplants, right?
I mean, yeah, I know it exists. I don't know anything about it.
So basically, you take bone marrow out of one person and put it into another, and and you use this as a treatment for lots of things. Anything that's blood based, where you need to affect the way the blood works. Weak blood, this, that, or the other. Um, eh, Leukemia is a big one that they treat with this, etc. But anyway, one of the things that happens when they do this is your blood can actually change from a DNA standpoint to that of the other person, right? It's not uncommon for that to happen. But some some
Yeah. See, I was telling the truth.
shut
Look
up,
at the chat.
everybody! Shut up, picking on me. God. All right, but anyway, some forensic pathologists, started realizing and wondering about the effects of this. And so they did a study on this guy, and they've been doing it for like over 4 years after he got a bone marrow transplant. And they're finding out that like not only is his blood DNA changing, but throughout different parts like saliva, mucus, things like this, there's a mix of the two DNA. Basically, they call them a chimera. The Greek
Yeah, I'm
beast, a
familiar with the
chimera.
camera. Yeah.
But the one thing that's really surprising is that all, not some, but all of his semen has changed over to the other person's DNA. So if he were to have a child, he would actually
Whoa,
have the other person's child.
dude, it'd be the perfect crime.
Right? And yes,
Yeah,
this is why the forensic
they
pathologists are
collect, yeah,
looking into it
they
because
collect semen from the body that's found, and it's like, oh, this guy did it, and this other dude gets arrested.
right. Right, that was one of the things because like there's hundreds of thousands there's many people out there that have different procedures involving bone marrow transplants all the time. So there's people running around out there with mixed DNA, and if it's apparently it's possible that all of like your DNA in certain areas can transfer over to this other person.
That's insane.
Which is, they're like, of course, they try and be they say optimistic things like, of course you wouldn't expect any of these people that have had these operations, things like this, for these diseases, this, that, and the other, to be someone going out committing these crimes like this that would involve it. Okay, but
Unless
on
you
the
get the procedure just for that,
right.
just so you can get away with shit.
But suppose there's a crime scene, like one of these people was a victim, and there's a crime scene, but there's three sets of DNA there. So they go off and they're like, they catch two people.
I mean,
And
that's actually pretty easy to solve. You look into their medical
hopefully,
history and see that they got the
hopefully.
whatever.
Well,
Yeah.
but right, but ultimately, it's only the last few years that they've really been thinking about this from a pathological standpoint. The crime scene standpoint to really look
Yeah.
in and say, oh, now we have to question because DNA has always been a
Well,
fingerprint
yeah.
type of thing, right?
Yeah, but I mean, even if they pulled the other guy in that gave the marrow, you know what I mean? It'd be real quick when they find out. Oh, okay,
One would hope, right? Yeah, of course. I'm just saying,
he's clear. Yeah.
but that's very interesting when they talk about the semen changing over because that's one that's like, wow, that I mean, it was just that just because could cause so many it's just like interesting little avenues for your mind to go as to how that could play out in future scenarios. But anyway, I thought it was interesting. I never heard of anything like that. I didn't even know bone marrow transplants would cause the blood to change over.
Yeah. No
Uh,
idea.
but that's the primary source of your blood too, is being produced in the blood marrow, or the bone marrow.
Right.
But anyway,
Oh,
so
badass.
outside of that, about the only other interesting thing to talk about is porn. Let's talk porn. You want
Yes,
to
let's
talk
talk
about
about
porn? We
porn.
never talk
Yes,
about porn. And
I know.
I mean,
No, so the big thing going on Twitter right now is this huge battle, I suppose, about whether or not porn should be illegal in the United States. So, Chet, what do you think? Should porn just be completely illegal, or some other kind of varied answer? Um, Obviously, I don't think it should be illegal. I think it should be completely legal. Um, obviously, I'm fine with the minimum age being 18. No problem with that. You can sign a contract at that age. You can sign a contract to, have sex on film. That's on you. So yeah, what do you guys think over there in the chat?
um,
Brandon says, "Hell no, I'm addicted."
um,
Well,
I'm
that doesn't really help our case, does it?
I'm just going to put this out there. I mean, I might have to ask Matt Christensen, but I'm pretty sure that porn is a natural right.
I don't think it's a natural
I
right.
believe it is.
I mean, I guess you could say it's falls under the pursuit of happiness, right?
You have a natural born right to get on that bus in Kansas and head out to Hollywood and shoot for the stars.
Or have the stars shoot on you, if you know what I mean.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that. We need an audition first.
Right, the casting couch thing.
Uh, and this is a fold-out casting couch. Aren't you
Yep.
lucky?
So I went into our Discord earlier this evening, I suppose, in the debate channel, and I asked that question, and most of them, I agree, Ron Helton. The government should not decide that; it should be left up to consenting adults. Exactly. Um, so I asked that question in our Discord, as I said, and we got we got the normal, no, it shouldn't be illegal, and you know, uh, let hoes be hoes, which I like that one. Um, so I just said, hey, come on, someone has to think it should be illegal. Don't be shy. And of course, we got our normal group that I would expect to believe that. So there was I'm not going to say the names, but obviously it should be banned and burned in the streets, which was interesting. I don't know how do you burn porn.
Wait,
That's
isn't that channel a public channel?
Well, yeah, but if but people aren't in it, and I'm not going to
Out these
say people.
motherfuckers! I
No,
don't care.
that's all right. We're not a drama channel. It's okay.
Stand behind.
Um,
They have the. Don't they have the conviction to stand behind their words in the
I hope
public
so.
forum? Hmm. What is it you are saying that you do not want us to hear?
Jesus. Yeah, and then of course it comes around to the Jews, as is usual from that particular party.
Yeah, I see that. I'm like, yeah, whatever.
Brandon says if you're 18 plus and you want to do that for income, why not? I hate them thinking that they need to have a say on everything. Yeah, exactly. We want the least amount of government regulation here on this channel. We don't want more.
Right, and think about how far-reaching making pornography illegal in this country would go. It would have to be so far-reaching. I mean, you're going to have to regulate social media now.
Well, not even that. Think about this, right? The UK, who is a huge fan of issuing permits for everything. You want to take two breaths when you walk down the street, you better have a permit for that. You know what I mean? And they tried to make porn require a permit as well. Not really a permit. You had to buy a porn pass. So basically, you're getting a license for that, mate. And that failed too. I mean, and it looked like it was going to pass, and then they just kind of quietly dropped it because so many people were just pissed off about it.
I mean,
So I mean, if you can't even do it in permit happy UK, it's not going to happen here.
Now, of course, of course, the direction of part of the debate went to this idea that no, it shouldn't be regulated on a federal level. Leave it to the lower level authorities, whether it's state or even smaller local governments, to decide about porn in their communities, this that, and the other, and that's fine and well and good. But again, the open door that it creates. I mean, seriously. I mean, I can't do anything in my home that revolves around that could be considered pornographic. So I can't even take, that means a person can't take pictures of anything they're doing because it could be considered pornographic, even if they're not planning on sharing it, right? Can't shoot a home video of yourself that doing that because that would be considered pornography.
Well, I mean, I
They
think
could
under a law like that, it would be fine until it fell into someone else's hands, because that would be the requirement for it, would be that someone else
the
viewed
point
it.
the point is give any government an inch, they will go a mile.
Oh yeah,
I
easily.
mean, I mean, it's this idea that still in states across this country there are old, antiquated laws on the books, dealing with what you can and cannot do from a sexual standpoint within your own
Hmm.
home, not just the public forum. In your own home, like these things aren't legal in your homes, and they're still on the books.
Right.
I mean, this idea of making porn illegal in the United States just opens the door to kick off bring those laws back to the forefront, and get back to a more fascist. You know, you've got to prove to me beyond a shadow of a doubt that pornography is not in any way, shape, or form protected by the Constitution.
Um,
That it is a form of media that is in no way protected by the First Amendment or any other amendment in the Constitution.
I don't know, because that would I don't think that would fall under speech. It would fall under freedom of expression, which is not in the First Amendment. The First Amendment says nothing about freedom of expression. Um,
Okay, but they have dialogue in those movies, and if it's freedom of speech, that'll. I mean, you look at movies in the regular
oh,
theater,
you know what they could do? If let's just say hypothetically, porn is just completely illegal, right?
Uh huh.
What they do is read off like news while they're fucking, right?
Right.
Because if you take that down, now they're the press. If you take that down, that's infringing on the First Amendment because it's freedom of the press.
Well, can a mainstream movie be banned?
Um, I believe it's been done before.
Can it be
I'm
done
not
in?
one hundred
I mean,
percent.
is it constitutionally okay to ban movies?
I
Because
don't. I don't know. I
I
don't.
mean,
No, actually,
I mean,
no. I
are
don't think
they
it's been done at
protected?
like the federal level.
Are they
I don't think. I'm
are
not sure.
are they
Let's find
protected
out.
under freedom of speech?
Let's find out.
There's that because porn movies have dialogue. These are movies; they just
Well, look at
are
that.
adult in nature, and they're shitty as far as a. They're not
Okay.
winning any Oscars.
Yes. Movies finally gained First Amendment protection in the 1952 Supreme Court decision, Pr0n versus Wilson, over the film *The Miracle*, decided on May 26, 1952, following the 1915 mutual decision. 5 states and a number of cities maintain censorship boards. So until 1952, they could ban movies.
But now movies are considered protected.
Yes.
Okay,
So that I would say that's a good argument for porn being protected as well.
right. It's absolutely protected in my
Yeah.
opinion. Um, you know, now you could
Brandon says CNN views would skyrocket.
right.
I don't
Now,
think you want to see any of them naked.
I mean, when it's all said and done, the best you're gonna be able. I mean, you've already got a rating system out there for movies, and porn falls under the triple X rating. So,
Yeah.
duh, right? But you know, people are gonna find a way around the
Oh yeah.
law because inevitably. Anavolta says if porn is freedom of speech, then it should be allowed in all public places, even on the sidewalk next to elementary schools. Hey, um,
Well, no, I mean we went through this in the Discord. There, Anavoltis. There's a difference between indecent exposure in public and pornography, which is about it's the difference of consent.
right. I mean, to if you watch pornography, you are consenting to watch that.
Right,
You
you
know,
clicked on it. I mean,
and we already have societal restrictions in place where those things are shown in very specific places. They're not just sitting out there for kids to watch, and for people who are offended by that kind of thing. It's not put in their face. Everyone has a choice if they want to view pornography or interact with pornography in some way. That's a choice you make.
yeah,
And I will stand firm on that. But people are going to find a way around the laws. For instance, here in the town that we live in, quite a few years back, law goes into place that the strip bars
hmm,
can no longer show nipples, and they
yeah,
they can't be no nudity. So they had to wear pasties and g strings, right?
or like the cross,
Right,
whatever.
whatever. That's
Yeah.
yeah, some sort of pasties, some sort of covering on the nipples. So no nudity in them at all. But there, however, one of the one of the strip clubs in town in the county found out, and they researched it, and they found out that, and in the vein of artistic expression, if you were putting on a performance, a play as it were, nudity is allowed in the artistic expression. So this strip club, at two or three times during the night, would have shows where you could not go up and interact, but in the show they would do things like Beowulf and things like this, like these Shakespeare,
Wolf, right?
right? Shakespearean little snips from Shakespearean plays and stuff like this.
Yeah,
They'd put on plays,
which
and
those
they
are pretty body
and
as
they
well.
right, and they do a little scene, and the women would run around naked for the bulk of the scene. Genius, but they got
Yeah.
around the law. And these guys could sit there, and then once the girls were off stage and they were back in their clothes, these guys could tip them all they wanted, dances,
Hmm.
whatever. But you could throw money up in there as well. You couldn't get up, you couldn't go near them. It was a
Yeah.
performance, it was a play. But I mean, it's how it's going to be. Um,
Yeah.
but porn is what it is, and it is just it's the dark the black sheep of the family of the film industry, the art industry. Because if we're going to get rid of pornography, then we've got to get rid of pornography in books, the written word. I mean,
Hmm.
what you're going to literally start getting rid of books.
Right, you're banning
Like
books.
the
Yeah.
bulk of romance novels are going to have to go. Any edgy or gritty sci-fi novels, fantasy novels,
Hmm.
spy novels, war novels, anything that goes to the extent of becoming graphic and sexual scenes, gotta go.
Yeah.
You
Game of
cannot.
Thrones would have to go.
Right, you could not stop
Yeah.
this slippery slope that will begin as soon as you do it, and you are going to have to pretty much destroy the First Amendment to get rid of pornography in this country, to make it
Not
illegal.
only that, but any like mainstream film that shows a titty,
Hmm.
that's gotta go.
I mean, and the idea that you could do it on a local level, and do it from that angle and not have the federal government do it, that's fine. But again, you need to you're going to be taking a fascist approach, because
Mhm.
you're going to want to stem what comes through on the internet eventually. You're going to want to find a way
You
to do
have
that
to.
in your community, right? You don't want any porn getting through to people's computers. I don't care what age they are. Not in our
Yeah.
community, porn can't get through. So we got to go China on this and make sure that we
Yeah.
censor the internet coming in. We've got to
Because otherwise, people will just use a VPN to get around, you know,
We have to
those
control
restrictions.
what magazines come into the bookstore, this, that, and the other. Everything that's coming
Yeah.
into the community, we have to make sure that it's censored before it ever hits our shelves, before people ever see it. Because if we don't, then it'll cause turmoil. We don't want turmoil, uh, and issues cropping up because porn managed to find its way in some
Yeah.
subtle way. It's insane. I mean, have you ever have you been into a grocery store that puts up little white placards in front of the magazines that are there in the checkout counter?
I mean, yeah, I remember those. I don't think they do that anymore. I don't think they sell shit like that anymore. But I know they used to.
No, they still do it, depending on the grocery
Oh,
store you go into. But yeah, they still do it. So like the cover of Cosmo, and I'm like, really, this is what you're choosing to put over the cover of different magazines just willy nilly because you know, all right, that's just it's fucked up. You know, I mean, a kid sees plenty of cleavage, the same amount of cleavage they would see on a Cosmo magazine. They'll probably see that in some of the kids shows that they're watching on TV.
yeah,
Because, if it's in a wholesome context, cleavage isn't noticeable. If it's on a magazine that speaks to women and tells them how to improve their sex life, you know, cleavage
yeah.
is naughty. Cleavage in a wholesome show, not a big deal.
So I imagine the people that would want to ban porn would also, have their women dress more conservatively,
Hmm.
so there is no cleavage.
Let's see. Ed says you're not going to stop it though. That is absolutely true. You'd have to outlaw smartphones to ban porn.
And they're not going
Absolutely.
to do that because then they can't listen to you as easily.
He says this isn't the same porn that Generation X beat their meat to. No, no, it's
There's
not.
significantly less push
I have
now.
I have
Yeah.
watched the evolution of porn, and it is fascinating. It is fascinating. Yes, it has definitely gone a long way from the National Geographic or the Audubon
Yeah.
magazines. Um,
Yes.
and the J.C. Penney catalog. Oh, Sears, J.C. Penney and Sears, man. But anyway, when my ex and I made a porno for fun, we needed a fairly high-end computer and a webcam with a second microphone. Yeah, you don't need all that anymore. You just need a kickstand for your phone and point it at the bed. It's all you need anymore. See, John's
There you go.
ready. John's got an entire porn studio in his hand.
That's right.
Um, Now you can make the same video with what's in your pocket. Exactly, Ed. Jay, I will never. Brandon says, Jay, I will never look at you the same with that Red Sox flag in the background. Oh, 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 home run,
Home
baby.
run, baby.
Nice.
Yeah.
As that was the argument that I made the other day. The age of going after producers, studios, directors, talent agents is over too.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You know what? It's weird where people's mind go when they think about porn. I mean, you've got these people that are just like, oh, it's just this, oh, it's this horrible industry where they manipulate women and they this that and I'm like, okay, hold on. I said, if you think that's the case, if you truly believe that that's the case in this day and age, that women are being exploited in porn, what I'd like you to do is go on Instagram, go on Twitter, go on.
Right. I mean, you could probably have made that argument, 20 years ago.
It started.
I don't think so
Yeah,
anymore. Now it's out there for free. They're doing it
right.
themselves,
I
a
mean,
lot of the time.
I
Not always, but
I'm honestly willing to say that between Gen Z and the millennials, I have more porn material in my fingertips than
yeah.
ever before. And and this isn't, it's not like it's Hollywood porn either. I mean, I've got porn pouring in from every direction in the world. I mean, you've got porn, so much American porn coming your way just in selfies alone, just in selfies. It's insane. Um, and to think that you're going to stop it,
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. I mean, I think we are in the middle of the next crazy sexual revolution, um, explosion even, and I'm wondering if there's going to be a new counterbalance to that. Because it was like going off in the 70s and into the 80s, and then suddenly that monkey showed up. So I'm wondering, is something like that going to happen again? Something catastrophic in the face of this large scale sexual revolution that seems to be going on now.
Yeah, could be. Um, I mean, although I think people are going to start, as we've seen from the certain aspect of our audience, and then what I've seen on Twitter, people are also losing interest in porn, and I think a large part of that is due to it's since it's so accessible, it's no longer taboo or forbidden, so it just doesn't have that like naughty, feeling to it. It's just kind of like, oh yeah, this is what we do now. You
Sure.
know what I mean? So I think the pendulum is swinging the other way. I don't think you need to make it illegal. I think people will just lose interest generally.
Well, I think that I think that you are on the path to something there, but not really where you think you're going. Because in my opinion, yes, I can see that the porn industry is somewhat dying. I will say that it is surging towards direct to digital, direct to
Yeah.
digital video, shorter, more specific video, but also, you know, the the reality porn angle is really growing by leaps and bounds, and by that I mean the entire spectrum of reality porn. When I'm talking about, there's so many people out there that want you to look at them. Like, think of the webcam uh, explosion that's going on right now.
Hmm.
All the different webcam sites that are getting bigger and bigger. Yes, I don't need to go see mainstream porn anymore that they're making in Hollywood. I don't have to worry about that now. I can go on to one of dozens of webcam sites and see local girls, the girl next door, the MILF next door, the
Yeah.
cheating wife next door, right here in front of me doing stuff. And if I pay her a little bit of money, she'll do stuff specifically for me.
Hmm.
That's where porn is going. The
Right.
sec the
More
sec
interactive.
sex dolls are going to be what kills porn. That's what it's going to take to kill the porn industry.
um, I don't know.
Because then, well, affordable sex dolls. Let me change that.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously, yeah, they would have to be affordable enough to where everyone could have one. But I don't know. I don't think that a doll can replace a real person. I mean, unless it could talk and you could hit the mute button. That's the only way that it would be better than an actual woman.
Well,
Being able to hit that mute button, just be like, no,
think about
it's quiet time now.
think about what made porn what it is today, though. You've got to remember there's a large part of the population. I won't necessarily say a majority, but a large part of the population that, for all intents and purposes, are not getting fucked or are unfuckable or are just not going to wind up with another person, have no
Hmm.
game, whatever you want to call it, whatever the different various reasons for a lot of these people. A sex doll is going to be the thing. Why do you think porn is so big? It's an outlet. It's a way for them to have
Yeah,
sexual interaction that they're probably not going to have on their own anytime soon. This is,
yeah,
it made porn what it is today. It's just, and, the idea that, I have to argue the idea that it prevents a lot of sexual crime in the world.
yeah,
I would
yeah.
honestly say it does because it gives a certain percentage of people an avenue that they might otherwise look outside the home to pursue.
Right. But yeah, Steven's saying that he's had major issues with porn in his life. He said it hurts your brain, your dick, and your relationships. I mean, it can if that's something that you do often, and especially more than once a day. That's even worse. But if you do it, if you do it too often, just like with anything else, I mean, it's gonna hurt you in some way. So it's about moderation,
That
just like with anything else.
that must be what's wrong with me.
Probably.
Yeah, it's too much stress relief. See, I keep thinking it's stress relief, but it must be causing me more stress, and so I'm on a vicious cycle.
Yep. But yeah, I mean, I know I don't think you're making an argument for banning it, Steven. I don't think that you would necessarily. But Yeah, I mean, just because something can have a negative impact doesn't mean that it should be gone, or you know. I mean, I think it can be healthy if you do it right. If you don't, overdo it.
Ed says he doesn't know if the sex doll revolution changes things. He mean because there's fleshlights, but I have to say
Yeah,
men are visually stimulated,
right.
and having even a pseudo live warm live body right there in front of you that you can see and then actually touch what you're looking at, that
Hmm.
for a man is far more pleasurable than a fleshlight and looking at a video on the computer. It's I mean, I can tell you right now, there's going to be a ton. There's going to be a ton of guys purchasing sex dolls, and there's going to be a ton of women out there doing the same thing if they make male versions that are
Yeah.
adequate, right? I mean, the dildo industry is not small, and it's not just men buying them, right?
Is it
Um,
big and black?
what?
The dildo industry, big and black. No. All right.
They're probably in the black,
Fair enough.
yeah. But I don't know, John. It's is this talk on Twitter something that is the kind of thing with traction? I mean, is this something that's being spoken about in Washington, or is it just Twitter talk, or is it
Well, I believe it
politalk?
was what Matt Walsh and the owner of Gab, which is like the Twitter alternative, the supposedly free speech Twitter alternative. So that's why it's been a big stink because those two, and then of course all the fighting that goes back and forth between random people. Um, but no, I mean it's what's big right now. I don't think it's gonna last long, maybe a couple more days, but then something else will happen and draw the attention away from that.
Yeah. I mean, you might as well be saying, we'd like you to repeal the First Amendment. I mean, because that's what it's going to come down to. That'll be the biggest argument, right?
Yeah,
Ed says he doesn't think there will be a sex doll for women. I mean,
I think that there would be. There
women don't
absolutely
really
would be.
need sex dolls, though, do they? Or do they? I
I
mean, it's not like
I don't
women
think
have a
so.
hard
Not as
time
much.
getting laid.
Well, that's true. But I mean, there's unfuckable women out there.
You would think so,
I mean, even I've turned down women before
but I
because
mean,
they were more unfuckable than me.
have you ever?
So
I think it might have been. I don't know who it was tied to. They started off on their own and they got absorbed by Facebook or how it all worked. Hot or not? Have you heard of that? Hot.
yeah.
Okay, so you just go on and you click on one through 10, hot or not, blah blah blah.
Hmm.
Man, I'm telling you, there's not a lot of high priorities out there in the male community. I'm just saying, and that's just one example of the various places that you can look. And when women post themselves for admiration, the responses that men give, I'm like, surely you're just trolling. I mean, did you just said
Sure.
that kind of positive reinforcement? Surely you must be trolling. I mean,
Or they're just trying to be supportive.
sure. Let's call it that. And it's
There's a lot
worse.
of white knights out there.
And it's worse on the adult sites, like adult message boards, things like this, where women are posted. They'll post their nudes, selfies and stuff, and it's like, did you just hear the compliment that just came? You just typed that. That's like gonna live on the internet forever, dude. You just said that. I mean, I'm not trying to be brutal here, but I'm just saying,
Hmm.
fugly's a word for a reason.
Right.
I mean, it is. Uh,
Yeah.
ooh, Ron says medical sites are saying that some amount of ejaculation has been shown to help promote a healthier prostate and a decreased risk in prostate cancer. They also said a glass of wine daily, not now.
Hey, Robert,
What?
you should talk into your mic.
Oh, I thought I was.
No.
Yeah, whatever. But anyway, hey, I have heard the same thing, Ron Helton, and I'm just going to put it out there. It's possible that this is something you begin to hear as you get older and you start to face more
Yeah.
more risk of prostate issues. I am a firm believer that masturbation or sexual activity, the act of orgasming, is a positive thing for the prostate. It keeps it exercised. It's the same thing as doing Sudoku for your brain. To keep it exercised so that you stave off dementia, Alzheimer's, things like this as best as possible. You know, you use something in your body. You don't overuse it, but if you use it on a regular basis, you keep it healthy. So I'm a firm believer in that, Ron. I don't know. Is the data there? I don't know, but I'm not dead yet.
Yeah, I don't have prostate cancer,
I don't.
so
As far as I know, I don't have prostate cancer, and I exercise daily. Ed says, I'll be 100% honest. I'm usually into a fuller figured woman. I don't specifically go for large women, but sometimes there's overlap. I follow a lot of body positive Instagram because of that. I see a lot of women in my recommended page that I would think are unfuckable with 10K drooling comments under them. And that's absolutely true. And understand, when I'm saying this about these people, now, A, this applies to men and women both, but more so with women. You know, men, surprisingly enough, men get positive responses that they just should not be getting, and it's not just about their weight. I'm talking there are some people that fell down the ugly tree and hit every stinking branch on the way down. I
yeah.
may be one of them. People look at me. I may be one of those, and I'll own it if that's the case. I don't know. All I know is how I've done in 51 years, and it's what it is. But I'm just saying, there's somebody out there for everybody. There is. It's obvious to me at this point. There's somebody out there for. I mean, if you're a woman, you can get laid. You can get laid. But I don't know. You can't ban pornography because, then women won't be able to post their naked selfies out there, thus keeping the
And
population reborn.
all of a sudden, millions of e-thoughts cry out in anguish at the same time.
Oh,
Oh
could you?
man.
I mean, it's a huge industry. I can't imagine that you'd ever be able to, get past the size of big porn in Washington. Like if they brought the money to bear, whew, Jesus
Yeah.
Christ! I mean, they might blow big tobacco out of the water with the money that you could combine in big porn.
Now that we're off the air from misogyny. Nope, we're
I
still here.
I can promise you that is the least of our crimes. If any
Yeah,
were
that's probably
committed,
true.
I mean, we've
Yeah,
done far worse.
allegedly.
Hey, you know what? If anybody wants to go and do the same observations that I've done and you come to a different result, please, by all means, bring it to me. But
Hmm.
it's sex is largely prevalent in our society, and it is becoming more and more open and out there. And the idea of what is considered pornography is so far reaching now that to make it illegal, nigh on impossible to even
Yeah,
contemplate, just to even contemplate. Ask one of those people, okay, well, how would you implement this? How the fuck are you going to make all porn illegal
yeah.
in the United States? Please tell me
Well, see,
you're
I
forced.
tried, I tried that back when the alt right were a thing, and I was in a debate Discord server that got shut down because there were alt right people in it. Um, but before that happened, yeah, I mean they kept going on about how we need to deport anyone who's not white and all this kind of nonsense, and the whole time I was like, how? Like, tell me how. And the whole obviously one of the big ones was paying them to leave, so saying if you choose to leave we'll give you X amount of money, and that kind of thing. But I was basically making the point that you would have to physically remove most of the people. A few might take your incentive, but most of them are not. um, so you'd have to physically remove them. It would be a bloodbath. and
Right.
some of them were willing to accept that. They're like, yeah, well, no one said it would be easy, but mainly the thing that they haven't thought about is logistics. It's like they don't know how they're going to do it. It just needs to be done, and they're going to advocate for it. But if you don't
Yeah.
have a plan,
Yeah. Yeah.
especially one that because you're not going to get most people behind slaughtering people, innocent people, because of the color of their skin or their ethnicity or whatever. It's not going to happen.
Well, you know, see, Ron Helton. See, he agrees
Yeah,
with me. The numbers figure. You think just think about how big it is in other cultures and societies. I mean,
yeah,
we're not the biggest one out there. Other folks have been
right.
getting it on for a while and at a much better click than us. Uh, you know, but yeah, it's it's funny. I could just imagine walking into any group in Washington and just being like, "Hey, we need to push to get rid of porn." You'll hear fucking crickets, a pin drop. You're just like,
Yeah,
fuck, right. Yeah, right. Like that's gonna,
good
dude.
fucking luck. Yeah,
Dude, go back to your local municipality. You need a few more years. You need, yes,
yeah.
go on, go on. You got to learn to pick your battles, baby. You just got
Right,
to.
exactly. If you
You
want to
can't
bring
just.
about your little, utopia, you're gonna have to, yeah, choose your battles.
You want you want to make porn illegal in this country. What you need to do is you need to get us to some point where approximately 98% of the population is leaning towards the Christian right.
Even then, I mean, you see
Oh,
those
it'd
big
be hard, but
pastors and stuff, those huge pastors. Who was it? Ted somebody. Fuck, now I'm blanking on his name. Ed asked who's a Trek guy. I think we both are. I know I am. I'm pretty sure you are as
I'm
well,
down. I'm down
Robert.
for a good bit of Trek. Some of it. Uh,
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, same. But yeah, what was his name though? It was like Ted something who got caught in the. He was like super anti-gay, but was caught in a hotel room with a
hmm
male prostitute with meth.
Right. I
Like
can't remember Ted.
I can't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember his name now, but I don't know why. Weird. But yeah, I mean, so and he's not the only one, right? It's it happens all the time.
Well, see, that's what you're going to find. Even if we go.
Oh, Odo died apparently from
Oh,
yeah Deep Space Nine.
oh, that's a shame.
That's all right. That series was
You know
all
what?
right.
A man has died, John.
I know. No one liked Odo.
I did.
He lived in a bucket. The fuck?
He was a nice guy.
I'm sure he was.
Anyway, John, a man has died.
I know.
Thank you.
All right, rip Odo.
All right, back to sex. So
Right.
no, it's yeah, no, it's ludicrous because even if you went to this fascist idea all the way down at a local level, where this community was trying to ban porn, and make it illegal, blah
Yeah.
blah blah. Oh no, because people still get behind closed doors, and I don't
Oh, yeah.
care. You get a group of, let's call it a small community of 5,000 together. Somebody wants to be called daddy in the bedroom. Somebody likes to have her ass smacked.
Yeah.
Somebody this, somebody that. There's a little of this, there's a little of that.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't care how small it is. Guess what's going to grow? All you need is a seed. you know?
Yeah.
There's going to be.
Get it? The seed.
Right. So,
Jay Edgar says he might be streaming tonight in remembrance. So if he does, go check that out. And subscribe to Ed's channel too. He's all right for a white boy.
yeah, it's, you know. Now, I won't say that I was as invested in Odo as I might be, if William Shatner passed, that kind of
Yeah,
thing.
that's gonna
Uh,
be a big day. Same with yeah, fuck.
Leonard Nimoy,
Well, he already died.
right?
That was a huge one. Yeah.
Uh, Walter
No,
Koenig,
no. I was thinking of. You see, you're fucking it up for me. I can't. I had the name.
George
And
George Takei.
no, Picard. Um,
Oh,
yeah, yeah.
George Picard.
George Picard, I think that's
Yeah,
his name. It's Jean-Luc Picard.
I know.
But
What's
yeah,
it?
I
What
know.
is his
Now I
damn
can't
name?
think. It's your fault. Now I can't think of it. What the fuck is wrong with me tonight? Can't think of anybody's name, and he's like huge.
Who? Patrick Stewart? You're not talking
Patrick
about
Stewart.
Patrick
Yeah, yeah,
Stewart, are
yeah,
you? Well,
yeah.
that's an
Patrick
easy
Stewart.
name.
Yeah, yeah, the one that you
Why
just
didn't you just
remembered.
say? Why didn't you say Professor? Why didn't you just say Professor X? Duh.
Because he's Picard.
He's Professor X.
No, he's Picard.
He's Professor X, sir.
He's Picard.
He is
You are
Professor
incorrect.
X.
You are incorrect.
I'm gonna say. I am gonna say this. The first season of the Next Generation. He was such a douche. He really was. He was
Yeah,
just walking around all well dressed and all prim and proper. I'm like, oh, come on, you.
yeah. Well, he just got a brand new ship. I
He was
mean,
John Luke
he's got a.
Petard.
You know what a petard is, right?
Yes, you'll hoist me by my petards.
What is it?
I don't know.
See, you don't even know what a petard is.
Isn't that a part of your pants?
No,
What was it?
it's a like a medieval. It's a dude like in the medieval ages who would like have these huge barrels, like full of explosives, and then place them either underneath the walls of a castle or right next to it,
So where
blow
did
them up.
hoist you by your petard?
Hoist, yeah, hoisted by your own petard means that it exploded early near your troops and they got fuckered.
Oh, gotcha. I see.
Yeah. Yep.
I like Kirk and Picard. Yes, and I'm just putting it out there. The porn they made, just think. If they make porn illegal, you won't ever be able to see the William Shatner and Patrick Stewart Triple X version of Star Trek.
Well, there's definitely some erotic fan fiction between Kirk and Spock.
I could see that
Yeah.
because I always wondered if that's what made uh, uh, Bones so grumpy. Like he was jealous of their relationship.
It could
I
be.
mean, it was bad enough.
You
There were
know,
always bitches getting in the way, but then there was Spock.
Brendan says you learn something new every day with John's fun facts. Yeah, it's true. I'm like a Snapplecat, man. It's weird. Just
Yeah,
random facts will just come up into my head, and then they have to come out, and there's nothing I
right.
can do about it.
And just about as deep.
Yeah.
All right. So, John, you are for the banning of porn or not?
No, I'm not for the banning of porn.
Not for the banning of porn. It's official, folks. John will not be banning porn.
That's right. You guys can
Um,
continue to look at porn or not at your own leisure.
um,
I hate that pronunciation of leisure. I
now,
hate when people say leisure.
now, I will say this: I will never condone exploitation in pornography. I will never
No, of course
condone
not.
all those things that are considered bad, right? Morally bad, et cetera, et cetera, whether it be bestiality, child porn, blah, 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 necrophilia, all this list of things that naughty, naughty, I get
Yeah.
it. But, bruh, my porn. You're not going to get rid of my porn,
Don't tread
right?
on my porn.
Don't take my reality kings. You can't take my reality kings, you son of a bitch.
Yep.
They're the kings. Really? All right. So, John, before I say anything to you, because oh, wait. How about try some fucking parenting? Here's from
Yeah.
Walsh. That's funny. See, there it is. Learn some
Yeah.
fucking parenting. And
Because that
that's
was
what it
his
goes.
whole thing was, oh, kids are going to be looking at porn. It's like kids have always been looking at porn.
Right? Right? And finding it in, like I said, dude, we looked for it in a fucking JCPenney and Sears catalog.
That's right, yeah.
You're going to look for it.
Yeah.
Just saying. The hormones, right? But yeah. This is just another example of somebody who thinks that somebody else should parent their children.
Yeah,
if we make everything illegal, I don't have to parent my children anymore.
right.
I don't have to
Especially the
watch what they
government,
do.
right?
Right. I don't have to
The
watch
government
what
are
they do.
not your parents. The
Right.
government should not be your children's parents. That is
No.
absolutely fucking ridiculous.
But if you'll make everything illegal, then I won't have to do as much of
Yeah,
that parenting thing. Then my children can just feel free to walk outside the
right,
house and roam around in traffic because everything's legal now.
right. Then your children basically become
Or
small
illegal.
roommates.
Right?
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Mhm. Mhm. My best friend, my 3-year-old. Yes, because you two are into so many of the same things.
right.
Uh, Ed says, have you seen his dumbass response to all this? He wrote in the Daily Wire where all his neocon fart sniffling Shapiroite incels will suck him off over it. A man with that much trust in the government doesn't deserve to have such a beard.
Agreed.
Right.
Shave it off.
But
Yo,
hey,
Wyatt,
there's
what's
Wyatt
up?
showing up right at the ass crack of dawn. John, I was just getting ready to tell these folks that if they haven't done it, they should hit that like
Yes.
button. If you haven't done it, you should hit the subscribe button. If you're not getting notifications as to when we're going live and when we're on the air, you should hit turn on notifications.
Right. And join our Discord, where I'll be posting links 30 minutes before and as we're going live, so you can always know when we're going live. All
There,
that's down in the description, along with our Twitter. You can go and follow us there. Um, and then freedomscoop.com, where you can buy some of our awesome shirts, and maybe some other people's stuff too, but mostly ours.
we are
And
starting. Oh,
our
go. I'm sorry.
promo code is down there as well in the description, so you can use that and get 15% off our shirts, which is pretty awesome.
The shirt. The shirt.
Shirt. We're
We
wearing them on Friday, so I don't have it in rotation right now. Right now it's Rob Zombie.
see,
It's in
see,
rotation.
Ed's got a good point. 7 people watching, only 5 likes. Shameful, shameful, shameful.
Shameful display.
Much like watching porn, this is the kind of thing that can cause you to burn in hell.
Yep.
So hey, but I am going to put it out there that the GoFundMe link is also in the description for our Salvation Army charity drive. So, anybody that watches this, if you feel a little bit magnanimous here over the next few days while we're still in the giving spirit here during the holiday season, click on there, throw a little bit to the Salvation Army before I send that money off to them. So it can get put to work in the last couple of weeks of this holiday season. Surprisingly enough, I expect it'll get put to use in the first of the year because that's a really hard time for a lot of folks too.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Absolutely.
so we're gonna get the hell out of here, John. I appreciate you stopping by. We'll get back to helping you get porn banned in the United States at a later time. Maybe you'll come up with some more concrete arguments as to why that should be a thing.
I
I
think
don't,
I proved my point.
did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, always show up at the end. Yeah, it's almost like you don't know what time we go on. It's these
Oh,
kids.
leave Wyatt
I'm just
alone.
mess. I gotta mess with.
He's so innocent and pure.
Look,
I can't even be mean to him.
look. Is John? Have you ever known anybody to be safe from my roasting?
Your wife.
There's nothing to roast her about.
What is
She
she in the room with you?
no, see that's the thing. I can actually say these things and mean it. I don't have a gun to my head or anything. I got
Not
nothing to
yet.
roast her about.
She's watching, isn't she? She's
No,
like that motherfucker better not
she
say
actually. I don't
anything.
think she's ever watched a single episode.
Probably not.
I don't think so. She doesn't like this kind of thing. She doesn't like me. So
No, fair enough.
no,
Yeah,
yeah.
I don't blame her.
Mainly it's you. She's like, I don't know how you put up with him for that long.
I can see that too.
She's
Yeah.
in shock that I come and hang out with you on Saturdays. But anyway. John, we'll be back on Friday if you would like. We'll come back and we'll hit this up again at about 8:30 on Friday night. That's the Eastern Time Zone. And
Sounds like a good time to be.
then we'll roll back it through on Monday again, and we'll have another episode of Shooting the Shit. Find some stuff to talk about and run off at the mouth about. Hopefully, porn will still be there. Uh, Roundtable. Wyatt says, when will the end GoFundMe? Probably be pulling it. I usually like to leave it up for at least a week. If I need to extend it, I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah.
But typically I was thinking probably somewhere around Friday, Saturday this week. I'll probably
Yeah.
purge the money and send it on through. But if for whatever reason somebody wants a later donation and they want to help out, I'm all for it. I'll wait. I got patience. I got patience. And I ain't even a doctor. But anyway, all right, we're gonna get. Yeah, that's lame, John. Don't even try that. I don't know why you write these jokes.
Fuck
See,
outta
this is what happens when we allow this shit to be scripted. Great joke writing. John. So anyway,
We're gonna fire that guy we hired.
right. All right,
Oh,
we'll get the hell out of here, folks. You guys
Yeah.
have yourselves a good night, John. Thanks for stopping by. We'll talk to you soon. We'll see you on Friday, and outside of that, peace out, folks.
See you guys.